Hey guys, Dr. Barry here. I just got home from the office. I have a half day on Wednesday, so I'm off on Wednesday afternoon to make videos for the YouTube channel and post for the Facebook page and other fun things, including working on 2 books right now. And I'm about to break my fast and eat. I've been sipping on butter coffee all day, and I wanted to just give you guys a peek into what I'm doing. This is August 1st. We've started our carnivore challenge. Poor Nisha got called into work today, so she's catching babies at the hospital. It's going to be, you may have heard, it's going to be closing here in a few weeks, and so she was lucky to get to go in and work with her comrades one more time, maybe another time before the hospital closes. And so I wanted to show you just an example of my carnivore meal and how I kind of spice it up, and I'm going to give you guys kind of step-by-step what I do. I'm not going to keep you on here while I cook this because basically you just put it over heat and cook it. But I've got 2 1/4 pounds of 27% fat ground beef. That's the fattest beef I could get. And I've got approximately 4 chicken livers already that I've already diced up. And then I've got some spices that I'm going to use. I'm going to use pepper. I love pepper. And I'm going to use some new salt or no salt or light salt. This is potassium chloride. So I'll get a little potassium from this. There are many strict carnivores who do not add any potassium to their food, and they seem to do just fine. But I know that as a physician that if I have normal kidney function, I can never take too much potassium like this. And so I can salt this to taste with this. I also use unprocessed Himalayan sea salt. This is not the brand that I use. We actually reuse these little things. You can pop the top off. We buy our unprocessed sea salt at a local health food store, and then we fill this guy up as it empties. And so this is sodium and chloride, and so I'm going to salt liberally with this as well. And I usually put 2 or 3 droppers full of this. It's magnesium. It's 400 milligrams roughly per dropper full, not per drop. And so I'm going to put 2 or 3 dropper full, so I'll get 200 or 300 milligrams of magnesium as well. And let me turn the camera and I'll show you. So 2 1/4 pounds of 27% fat ground beef, and then I've got about 4 chicken livers diced up really fine, and I'm going to mix all that together with the unprocessed sea salt, with the potassium chloride. You could also use cream of tartar if you have that, and then I'm going to put some magnesium in it just for my own personal comfort. There are many carnivores who have been doing carnivory for over a decade who never put the minerals in there. They feel like they get enough minerals from just the meat. And then also somebody asked me why I'm putting the liver, and a lot of people don't realize, but liver has vitamin C. A lot of carnivores insist that meat has a little bit of vitamin C in it, and that may very well be true. I haven't seen any black or white documentation of that yet, but it's quite possible that meat has a little vitamin C, but it's absolutely documented that liver has vitamin C in it. Pork liver has the most vitamin C, beef liver's next, and then chicken liver has less than those two, but it still has enough that you're definitely not going to get scurvy from eating a carnivore diet, which I don't believe you're going to do anyway. And like I said, there are devout carnivores who have been eating just meat, just fatty meat for over a decade. None of those guys have developed scurvy. They look very healthy, very vigorous, very vibrant. And so Nisha and I, you may or may not know, are going to do carnivory for the entire month of August. We're going to eat a carnivore diet, and we want you guys to join us. And I just wanted to go live and give you a little insight as to what I'm about to eat before I get busy making some videos and working on those 2 books I told you about. So let me see if I've had a question or 2 here that I can answer. Hey, Dr. Barry, I only have 1 functioning kidney. Is there anything I should be concerned about eating carnivore? That's a brilliant question. I'm glad you asked that. So there are many people out there, and even some doctors, who think that too much protein is bad for your kidneys. This is one of those medical lies that doctors learn early in their career, and they never think or read enough to ever dispel this myth in their head. There is absolutely no research that shows that protein is bad for your kidneys. There are dialysis clinics all over America now, thousands of them in little small towns that should not have a dialysis clinic. And those dialysis clinics are not there because all those people in that small town eat too much protein. That's not why they're there. They're there because those people have eaten too many carbohydrates. They've eaten too much sugar, too much processed grain, too much vegetable oil. That's what destroys your kidneys, is grains, is sugar, is simple, unworthy carbohydrates that are not worthy of being put into the human body. Some of the carbohydrates that we're encouraged to eat by the health authorities, animals won't even eat, okay? And so, yeah, it's the overabundance of grain in our diet, the overabundance of sugar. Everything is sugared and sweetened and pre-sweetened, and then we put more sugar on it when we get it home. That's what's causing the kidney failure epidemic in America. So your one kidney is very, very safe. It's actually quite protected by eating a carnivore diet, because the carnivore diet is essentially zero carb. There may be 1 gram of carb in the glycogen that was stored in this meat, but there's not enough carbs to bump your blood sugar or your serum insulin level in any meaningful way by eating this meal. And so this is going to be about 2.5 pounds of meat. I may save some of this for Nisha, or I might not. We'll see about that. Depends on how hungry I am and how full I get. So that's a great question. I have no concerns. And if you want further information about this, you know, I'm a board certified family physician, an MD. But if you want to get even more details about this, watch Dr. Jason Fung's videos. He's a nephrologist. He is a kidney specialist. And he says that unless you have the very end stages of kidney disease, even if you have stage 1 or stage 2 or even stage 3 chronic kidney disease, you don't have to worry about or limit your protein in any way. What you really need to do is be cutting back drastically on the unneeded carbohydrates in your diet. Let's see if we got another question here. Yeah, I never overcook my meat. If you guys saw how little Nisha and I cook our meat, it would probably freak you out a little bit. We very commonly eat a lot of our, not ground beef, but if I bought like a ribeye steak, I'll very often dice that and spice that, and we'll have tartare. We do that more often than our family knows about, because they would freak out if they knew how much raw meat we eat. But I'll cook this hamburger. I'll probably cook it medium rare, if that much. And I'm only doing that basically because I'm not used to eating it raw yet. And ground beef that someone else ground that I'm not familiar with how they did it, it makes me a little nervous. So I want to cook it a little bit, but definitely I'm not going to overcook it, and I'm going to consume all of the juice and the grease that comes out of this, because that's good saturated and unsaturated fats. And now here's a question, can we do carnivore only with chicken? You can, but I would encourage you to stick with the chicken legs and the chicken thighs and the chicken wings with the skin on, okay? Because if you're eating chicken breast, that's not nearly fatty enough to give your body the fat that it needs to function. Also, it's bland and not very, you're tempted to put some kind of carby sauce on chicken breast because it's so dry and completely and utterly lacking in taste. So if you eat chicken legs and chicken thighs and chicken wings with the skin on, that's a pretty good carnivore meal. Make sure you're eating the gristle, make sure you're eating the tendon, make sure you're gnawing a little bit of the cartilage off the end of the bones, because that is free collagen that will help you rebuild your joints by consuming other joints and tendons and ligaments. Yeah, somebody asked about, will this heal ulcerative colitis? I've seen so much feedback on social media about Crohn's, irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis getting better. So in other words, not curing it. I don't think we cure it with a carnivore diet, but I think the symptoms get much less severe and the outbreaks or the flare-ups become much less frequent. So yeah, absolutely. I think you should try this. So you're just eating chicken and no beef. Okay, I think you can do it, but you got to eat the fattiest cuts of the chicken. Shannon says, my PCP has suggested a keto or even a paleo diet, so I'm going carnivore. She has read your book and loves it. Oh, I love it, Shannon. Tell your doctor to reach out to me. I'm always looking for other MDs to collaborate with, because I think MDs out there are waking up faster than you guys maybe realize. Medical doctors, MDs, are at very real danger of getting a visit from their medical board if they stray too far from the community of care or the standard of care. And so we're basically, if you have kidney failure, we're supposed to recommend the American Diabetic Association diet to you, or the AHA diet. And so I'm not going to do that, because that diet will land you on dialysis. It will land you with heart failure. And so I'm not going to do that to my patients. And so a lot of doctors are very shy about recommending this. But if you ask your doctor, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm actually doing keto myself, or whatever. And so always ask your doctor. Marina says, some doctors said that a lot of protein spikes uric acid and that can destroy the kidneys. Yeah, that's complete and utter bullshit. Pardon my frankness. There's zero research to back that up, Marina. Ask your doctor. Say, hey, I'd love to see the study that you told, you based your advice to me on. Print that out and leave it at your front desk, and I'll come back and pick it up, because I know you're very busy. So just print that out. I'd like to read that study that shows that eating too much protein spikes my uric acid level and therefore destroys my kidneys. I'd love to see that. Gentry says, I felt so much better getting rid of grains and refined sugar. That's absolutely the first two steps I recommend towards moving toward a more ancestrally appropriate diet. Then the step 3 would be getting rid of all vegetable oils. I'm proud to announce that we now have a restaurant in our small town in Camden, Tennessee, Smarters, who Rick, the owner, has assured me that he's gotten rid of all vegetable oil from the premises. He cooks only with lard now, and I'm very proud of him for taking that step. He said the food tastes better, and so I believe that even French fries fried in lard are less bad for you than French fries fried in vegetable oil. I don't think they're good for you, but I think they are less bad. Lazy Keto said, have you seen the big study on rats in the press? A lot of where they said fat. Well, yeah, I saw that. And so, Lazy Keto, I really don't give a damn about rat studies or mouse studies. There's enough human research about fat in the diet. I'm reading rereading for about the 4th time now, a book called Good Calories and Bad Calories. And if any of you guys really want to delve into the research of fat, of cholesterol, of fat intake, of carbohydrate intake, I encourage you to get the book by Gary Taubes, Good Calories, Bad Calories, and read it. It's very dense. It's very academically written. It's not a fun read if you're not a reader, but I enjoy it very much because it's so full of the research and the actual true findings, instead of the bullshit findings that we've been hearing about and that your doctor's been telling you about. Krista DW says, can you eat too much protein on the carnivore diet? Won't that much spike your insulin? Great question. Let's cover this, and then I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go cook my meat, and I'm going to go eat my meat. So if you're eating a ketogenic diet with 50 grams of carbs a day or something like that, then you can eat too much protein, and it will kick a little gluconeogenesis in, and it could raise your numbers in a way that you don't want to. Not much, but it might. But when you're eating carnivore, remember, this is 0 carbs, or one gram of carbs. So you're basically getting 0 carbs. So then the protein ceases to matter. I still want you to eat a very fatty cut of meat. So for instance, I got, instead of 90-10 lean to fat, I got 27% fat. I got the fattest meat I could find. And then the liver's got a little fat in it and around it. That's also good as well. But if you're eating carnivore, there's absolutely 0 research that shows that you're going to spike your insulin with that. Dr. Ben Bickman has a great video on YouTube you can check out where he goes into detail that if you're eating the standard American diet, or if you're just basically eating too many carbs, then eating too much protein can spike your insulin a little bit. But if you're eating very low carb, the protein has no effect on your insulin level whatsoever. Great question. Let's see. So Mother Loving Keto says, how do you feel about people saying keto messes with liver and kidneys? I feel like I'm sorry for those people that they don't know better than to say that. There's absolutely 0 research that shows that to be the case. And there are thousands and tens of thousands and about to be hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be able to give you their N=1 research story of how they felt on a month of carnivore. And that's part of the reason we put out this challenge. I've been carnivore for a few months now, but Nisha, my wife, and if you want to follow her on Instagram, her handle is Nisha Loves It, all one word. And you can Google Nisha Loves It, and you'll find all her social media, her vlog, her blog, all that stuff. But she's been eating meat-heavy keto for the last 2 or 3 months, and she has Hashimoto's, and she's been feeling much, much better with a meat-heavy ketogenic diet. But now, starting August 1, she's going to go full-bore fatty meat keto, or fatty meat carnivore, so fatty meat only, and she's going to see how that helps, how that affects her Hashimoto symptoms. She's much better on fatty meat keto, but I predict she'll feel even better on fatty meat carnivore. And so we're going to see about that. If I'm wrong, honey, trust. I'll happily admit that I was wrong. I'm not above that. I'm one of those weird doctors that actually likes to be shown that he's wrong and actually likes to learn from that, because that's what true students and true teachers do. So I'm hungry. I'm going to go and cook this, and I'm going to go and eat my meat. And I want you to do the same. If you are joining us for the hashtag Carnivore Challenge in August, please leave me a message, send me a direct message, maybe share this. I don't know. I think I'll post this on my Facebook page as well. If you haven't checked out the Facebook page, there's a ton of information over there. And you guys eat your meat and carnivore on, or if you don't want to do the carnivore, then keto on. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.